Hello folks, another little off-the-cuff video for you today as I make my way to the gym. Yes, you heard that correctly, they're sad times. A lot of people keep asking me about leasing a used car, and I have covered it in videos in the past, but they were a long time ago. So here we go, I'm going to chat about it again. I did do a video quite a long time ago where I compared the cost of leasing a used car to a new one, and it just didn't really make sense. It just wasn't sort of cheap enough considering how much you're giving away by not having a new car. Now, a lot of people think having a new car is about keeping up with the Joneses, and for some people I'm sure it is. For me, it never has been. For me, it's been about having something that I don't need to worry about in terms of it going wrong. I've got full manufacturer's warranty with it. I've got no need to MOT it or anything like that. I've got a fresh set of tyres on it, and probably during the lifetime I've got the car, they won't need replacing. And if they do, you know, I only have to put something cheap on it, and I might be able to get away with just doing one tyre. When your lease car goes back, all it has to be is legal. So there's some of the real benefits of having a lease car. Obviously, the other great benefit of having a lease car is that you can often get yourself in a new car for far less than it would cost you if you're going to pay cash for it, or if you're going to have it on a PCP and say then sell the car after 3 years. People that bought an EV, you know, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, and are now trying to sell it, they paid cash for it and they're now trying to sell it, or they had hire purchase or whatever it may be, and they're now trying to get out of it, are getting the shock of a lifetime when they realise how much it's depreciated because of various market conditions that we've chatted about in other videos. And the same goes for people with like petrol and diesel cars as well. Lots of people buy a car and they change it after 3 or 4 years, and however they choose to finance it, whether that be cash or some form of car finance, it can often cost you 10, 15, 20 grand just to have a car for 3 years, however you do it, for 4 years, whatever. If you lease it and you get the right lease deal, which is why I always say shop for the deal and not the car, you know, look for the great deals rather than getting completely focused on a specific car. Quite often you can have that car for that same period, but it only costs you 7 grand during that time, or 10 grand during that time, rather than 15 or 20. Doesn't work on every car or on every model. It works when the deal's right. Okay, and of course you've got that car for that period of time. It's under full manufacturer's warranty. It's got a fresh set of tyres on it. The brake pads are brand new. You don't need to MOT it while you've got it, unless you go into, say, a 4-year lease. There's a lot of good reasons why it makes sense for a new car, and really not too many when it comes to a used car. I think if you're buying a used car, some people need to get finance. That's absolutely fine. Always look at your options. Don't just take the dealer finance, you know, shop around, consider a personal loan, have a look at HP rather than PCP. As you know, guys, I'm not a fan of PCP generally at all. It's one, I think it's a missold product quite a lot of the time, if I'm being completely honest, and I think a lot of people that buy into it don't fully understand what it means, and they don't understand the upside of it for the dealers quite often, in my personal opinion. So consider all your finance options, but really, if you're buying a used car, I say buy a used car if you're going to keep it, and you're probably going to run it into the ground. And that's a great way to get into a used car. Buy a car, keep it, run it into the ground. Yes, you're going to have maintenance costs that you wouldn't have with a new car. You're going to have repair bills that you're not going to have with a new car. That's just the way it goes, and at some point that car will come to the end of its life. But leasing a used car really doesn't make a great deal of sense, because you're putting money into a car and it's usually really strong money. I mean, I've seen 4-year-old cars that are being leased for, say, 20 quid less than a brand new one, or say it's 100 quid less a month than a brand new one. If it's 4 years old, just your costs on that car could be potentially huge. And some of these used car leases will come with a warranty, but that will be like a warranty policy. it won't be full manufacturer's parts and labour warranty, not in any that I've seen in any case. And when it comes to warranties, my opinion is they make a lot of sense when they're full manufacturer's parts and labour warranties, and they don't always make a great deal of sense when they're a warranty policy, because you've usually got various limits and sub-limits as to what you can claim, how much in total, how much per sort of incident, etc. So they sometimes will do nothing more than give you a contribution towards the cost of putting things right. And obviously they can be a little bit complex to make a claim against at times. So for all the people asking, can you do video on used car leasing, this is it. My advice to you is really do the sums for yourself, think about it long and hard. Is it worth saving 20-30 quid a month to get something that you've actually got MOT every year? You've got to get it through its MOT every year. You've got wear and tear on it before you pick it up. To me, that makes sense to buy, not to lease. And that's the long and the short of it, really, folks. I have written a book on buying a used car. It's available on Amazon, and if you click the link in the video description, you can actually get it for free if you do a free trial of Kindle Unlimited. Otherwise, I think it's under 7 quid for the book. It's not a particularly hefty tome, but it's full of what I think is useful sort of hints and tips for people that are perhaps a little bit scared about the buying a used car process. It does touch on one or two of the scams out there. It touches on some things to look out for. It gives you a bit of a checklist of things to check for during an inspection and a test drive of a used car. Documentation tips, all that kind of stuff, and I think it is really well worth it. I haven't done this to get rich, by the way. I think I get about £1 if you buy one. So I'm not getting rich from it. I've done it to try and help people out, okay? I just want to make that completely clear. But yeah, when it comes to leasing, I think lease new, buy used. All right, and if you keep that in mind, lease new, buy used, there are bargains to be had, especially at the moment when we're seeing some amazing car leasing deals, like really amazing car leasing deals. Almost turning back the clock 5 years on some of the prices we're seeing. So yeah, that's it really, folks. I mean, if people will always send me a message and say, oh, I've just leased this for 199 quid and it's only 4 years old with 20,000 miles on it. It's not for me. That's it. Hope you've enjoyed this one, folks. Sorry if I've rambled, but as you know, I do that sometimes. Please give this one a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And please wish me luck going into a gym. I am just as unfit as I look. Yeah, I need a little bit of, I don't know, good luck, I suppose, to get through another session. So yeah, wish me luck. See you on the next one.